Testing 1, 2, 3. Hello, hello, hello. I'm looking to see if the iPhone is picking up the microphone. There's always technical difficulties. Put a thumbs up if you can hear this. Test, 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 test. Test, test, test. I think I got it. Alright, this is gonna be some there's you, there's me. There's me too. Whoa. Okay, alright, sorry. Too much me. Anyway. There's one person on, and that only one person on is me. Okay, so that seems to be working. That's pretty good. I just closed my screen out. So there's still one person in here, so it can't be me anymore because I'm exited it out. So there's officially 2 people watching. Now it's just back to me talking here once again by myself here. So I figured I'd cover some items. First and foremost, pretty good visuals here, I'd say. Pretty good audio. I'd say this is appropriate for what we need to get done here. A couple things I would like to discuss today. One of those being, if you have a muscle that lags behind, and if you have a hard time stimulating a certain muscle area, maybe it's time you work in some isometrics and you take some time to figure out which isometric positions activate that muscle and just move it in your repertoire. For example, the chest, for me, hello, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I have some answers. Anyway, where was I? Oh, the chest. Okay, so sometimes I feel like I can't get the chest as fatigued as I'd like to. So I started working isometrics, and I took some time to work in the angles of my elbows and my shoulders. And I was able to, get a little bit of more chest activation just because of isometrics. And that goes against, they say not to flare your elbows. But when you're doing isometrics, there's no movement there. So sometimes I flare my elbows doing a chest fly on the ISOFIT. And I'll literally just, there's no machines that are going to allow you to get here comfortably and safely. Except you do some isometrics, you can get in there. I have a question. Do you exercise? Wow. This is an exercise podcast, and the first question I get is, do you exercise? Yes, I do. That's the topic. That's the subject matter here. You may be new. That's okay. But yes, if you have a question, feel free to ask. And that goes for anybody while I have you in here. So take some time, and if you have some muscles like your hamstrings or your glutes, a lot of people struggle to stimulate the glutes and grow there. And that's natural, that's normal, but take some time to work in some isometrics. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. And I appreciate the question. However, I'd like to repeat the question. However, someone asked me a question before that was a play on words that I said out loud, and then looking back at it, it was not the right thing to say. So someone tried to get me to say something using a play on words. So I don't know what that is. So I can't answer that. So I don't know what that is. So your glutes. Take some time to figure out an isometric position that activates the muscle that lags behind. And that's just That's just so anyway. Let's see how we can work this here. If you guys haven't noticed, I am learning on the fly here how to work all of this. So if you have an isometric position, if you have a muscle area that lags behind, work in some isometrics. That was my chest. I'm still working on it. I'm still fiddling around with it, but it's good to know that I can manipulate my body to get that done without any equipment. So, does anybody have any questions? Let's see. Bang and bang. Okay, let's continue on. I had 7 people in here, but that's okay. That's more than 6. Why don't you guys tell me what your journey is with isometrics? How'd you get to this channel? What else? Do you do isometrics? Are you here for high intensity training? What are you here for? Do you have the Isomax? Do you have the IsoFit? Do you have the Bullworker? You know what's interesting? My most viewed video is my least used tool. I have a Bullworker video that has like 18,000 views on it, something like that. And I would say that was my least used tool. Isn't that interesting? You really never know what's going to go out there and people are going to consume. In terms of isometrics as a narrative, I think the studies support the benefits of isometrics. I just don't think the narrative supports it currently. So if we get some people to, I think it's only a matter of time because I continue to say all roads lead to isometrics. Does anybody have any questions while you have me here? I'll answer them now. If you have any of the tools, the Isomax, or if you have any isometric questions and you need a call, I give out free 15-minute phone calls to get you set up and get you on the right path and set some expectations in terms of results and workout programs around isometrics. Otherwise, you can do live workouts and I can critique some of your techniques. Speaking of techniques, there's a lot we have to get to. Speaking of techniques, there's a lot of technical aspect in isometrics. So, if you think you just hold yourself in place and that's it, there's more to it than that. And the more you explore with isometrics, the more dynamic they get. Isn't that interesting? The opposite of dynamic is isometrics. However, when you're doing isometrics, they get dynamic. You can put someone in an isometric position yourself, and let's be more specific, I suppose, here. Let's be more specific. Okay, we'll just hold ourselves into a squat hold. Now, within the squat hold, you can squeeze your hamstrings and your glutes, and you can flex your whole body. Now, you might feel like your feet are twisting into the ground. While we're doing that, we can push our knees away slightly for some abduction, and we can squeeze our hands together and press our hands together and flex our biceps and squeeze our core and all of that. Okay? So there's multiple different things you can do within one isometric exercise. And that just takes some time and maybe a personal trainer, maybe an expert. Because, there's personal trainers for dynamics. Is there many personal trainers out there for isometrics? Isometrics you might need a personal trainer more to get you started. Because it's like learning a new language. That's how, that's the depth of the protocol. And is isometrics a new thing? Wouldn't you argue that isometrics is an ancient thing? Is it an ancient practice? Couldn't you see gladiators pushing and pulling into iron objects to prepare themselves for battle? Couldn't you see that? On the flip side of it, couldn't you see someone in a cell in some sort of captivity and their only exercise is to press up into the wall. Isn't that an ancient practice since the beginning of mankind? Wouldn't you consider isometrics to be something we've done? I would say it took tools to use machines. It took tools, the development of tools to use machines. So in order for us to exercise with machines, you would have to wait for tools to be adapted. Isometrics is probably the first exercise of all time. But this is not about me. And this is not about isometrics. Because this is about you. So what do you need to do to prepare yourself for sustainability, long-term health and stability, and strength? What are you doing short-term, long-term? Or whatever you're doing short-term, is that going to prepare you for 20 to 30 years down the road? If we need a lot of reps of something over time, shouldn't be something that we can repeat over time. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, maybe I'll play some music to just get us back into a little intermission here. Let's take a 15-second break, just like we would with an isometric contraction. And within that time, I'm going to put on some music for us. It's been a good day. How's your day been? Okay, we're going to go to YouTube Music. And last time we were here, we played a little bit of classic rock. Maybe we should stay on that. Here. And that's an okay song. You know, here's Fleetwood Mac. I made a comment today that potentially Fleetwood Mac is a little overplayed. Sorry to the Fleetwood Macs out there. And that's not their fault. They have great music, but it's maybe just played on the radio a little bit too much. So with that, I'm going to skip the next song. What I really want to hear is... I guess this is an okay song. I'll be honest with you, over time here? Can you guess this song? If I'm not going to get you to ask questions about isometrics, can you at least guess this song? It's too bad. I would have guessed that song. Okay. Now's your last chance to ask any questions about the Isomax, the IsoFit, Harambe system, isometrics, philosophy, physiology, physical education, any of the sorts. Otherwise, I hope that at least this might have been entertaining. Maybe not in much information packed into this one, but at least some spent your time getting some entertainment in this crazy world. There's more to life than isometrics. There's not more to exercise than isometrics, though. And with that, I'm going to leave you guys for today. Now's your last chance to ask a question in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, over and out.